My name is Zadok Budd, and I'm the inventor of the Campfire Convection Oven. What this little oven allows you to do is, it's a portable bakery. And so you can bake bread anywhere, anytime, and be able to do it yourself, whether you have electricity or gas, or you don't need any of that. You can just use a wood fire and you can be able to bake your own bread. Another thing about the Campfire Convection Oven is it uses a very small amount of wood, and so it's able to help the environment. The new technology, using a wood fire to produce a convection current. Thank you so much for your interest, and I hope you enjoy learning more about it. Heat box out front here. This very convenient door on the back that you can open up, and then the top lid also opens, and you're able to have access to the food. As well, there is this beautiful turntable here which allows you to rotate the food without even opening the oven. You can just rotate it from the outside and turn it as it cooks. You just simply place the oven on the upwind side of the fire, and then as the wind comes, it goes up over the oven, creates an eddy here at the front, which creates a vacuum that pulls air through the bottom orifice and through the oven and up and out in a continuous flow. This oven has been tested and retested. And so this little pizza oven, emergency oven, and camping oven is the best in the world. It's extremely lightweight. It disassembles to be flat and fits in the storage tray that it's on top of there. And it's a great little invention that's completely adaptable and able to be used in any setting out in the wilderness. And it utilizes infrared light as well as that convection current traveling through the oven, and it's able to get very hot to cook your pizza, your biscuits, your cinnamon rolls. I've even cooked a frozen chuck roast when it's 25 degrees outside with a 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing. The harder the wind blows, the faster the convection current goes through the oven, and the more the coals radiate infrared light and heat. So you've got all three forms of heat transfer: radiation, conduction, and convection, just going like a powerhouse. It's a beautiful, beautiful invention. Here is some footage of the Campfire Convection Oven being laser cut at the manufacturer. So you've had many years of experience cooking with reflector ovens and enjoyed that quite a bit. And then of course I was born as your son and came on the scene and got to enjoy the delicious French fries from the reflector oven and all kinds of other things, the turnovers and the lots of yummy food that would come out of there, the pizza and so forth. Over the years, you had tried to make several different designs of reflector ovens. Then, after all these years of experience and enjoyment, you wrote a book about it. The Reflector Oven from Principle to Practice.
Yes, we did that.
And it's a great book and has recipes and all kinds of good things. And then you had your stroke, and as your son, I wanted to try my hand at moving the technology a little bit farther, a little further along, improve it a little bit, and try to make like the best reflector oven in the world. Part of the reason I wanted to do that was, to have you have something to be excited about, look forward to, and kind of have a little fun with, Now it's an opportunity to really bring that love of cooking and the convenience and the joy of it and the great taste to other people. So thank you, Dad, for everything that you worked on and advanced over all those years, and for helping me take it even farther to have this amazing oven that can be for other people.
Well, I'm glad
Okay, so we have a couple of pizzas here that we're going to cook in the oven. I'm just removing the excess aluminum foil from the edge of the pizza, and then that one will be ready to put in. And my wife sure does a wonderful job of making pizzas. They cook up so delicious, it's amazing. And so the oven only has a certain width to it, and so this pan that's made of aluminum here, it's just the right width, kind of the maximum that can fit into the oven. So you can kind of use it as a template, and then you can use it as a spatula to put the pizza up on, and then to put it into the oven. And so pretty soon we will put these into the oven, and we'll show you the ovens once the fire is in them, and then we'll get some footage of us putting it in the oven. Okay, so as we see, these pans here, or spatulas, compact spatulas, they kind of give a little template, and you can see that even if this pizza dough rises a bit and kind of gets a tiny bit wider, it's not going to like cook onto the side of the oven, or make it hard to turn the turntable, because it all fits. And you have to do this too if you're doing cinnamon rolls, or whatever you're cooking. If it's something that can rise, like biscuits or anything, you need to make sure that it'll fit within the turntable, and then it'll produce the best results possible. Okay, so I'm going to put the pizza in. I'm just, the oven's cool, I haven't lit the fire, and that's usually a good rule of thumb at the start is, I just want to put it on the turntable there. Even before you light the fire, it's good, because then you use even less fuel, because it gets hot pretty quick and it'll cook the pizza. The first one may take just a little bit longer, but then you don't burn up all of your fuel. So it's good to use it that way. So now I can close it down here. And we've got two ovens here that are going to be cooking pizzas. And we're just using junk wood, like wood that's fallen from the trees, fruit tree trimmings. So the way I like to light it is, I don't really like to use paper or leaves, because they can go into really fine ash that can blow around in the oven and blow onto your stuff. So I like to use just all wood if I can. And see, we even have some grapevine trimmings here, and so I like to put some stuff on the top, and once it's up on the top, you can light it, and then once it's going good and has a few coals, you can kind of poke it down through the hole to get the bottom going. But it just kind of makes it easier to kind of get to it when it's up here on the top, and so you'd kind of do this here and light it up. Okay, both ovens are going good. Evan's rotating the turntable on that pizza. And this pizza's rising up pretty big in there. Nice and hot there. They're doing a great job. The wind just picked up a little bit, so that convection current's really going well through those.
I'm excited to be cooking out here. We're cooking two pizzas, and the fire is really, really hot. We have it stacked up more so that it angles down onto the pizza, and we've been cooking for 9 minutes and 30 seconds, and they're looking, can I turn yours? Dad's is looking pretty toasty right in front. And we just use rocks to turn it, so it doesn't like burn our hands at all. So I'm excited to have the taste test once they're done.
Okay, let's take a look at the bottom here of the pizza. See how it did. Beautiful. That's a beautiful pizza, and it smells delightful. So we have another pizza here. We also have some cinnamon rolls cooking. I'll open up the back so you can get a shot of the cinnamon rolls cooking. See, they've just started and they're rising up, starting to cook. There's some of the pizza, just absolutely delicious. Nothing beats the flavor of a wood-fired pizza. The peppers just turn into magical, flavorful, yummy things. And everything just tastes so delicious. The crust is so crispy and just tastes heavenly. See, that's just perfect. That's what we need, a nice little breeze to really stoke that fire there. Let's take a look at our pizza now. I'm going to pull it out, and it's hot. See how it got just a little bit blackened here at this part here. And let's take a look at the bottom. Perfect. So that pizza's ready. Okay, so we've got the Sproul Baker on the right, and it's cooking some biscuits, 1 tube of biscuits. And then we also have the Buddy oven on the left, and it's also got a tube of biscuits in there. We've got some oak twigs burning there, nice and hot. So we'll see how those two do. Then we also have another competitor here with its tube of biscuits in there cooking. And then also this little Boys Life model cooking 2 biscuits there. And so we've got a small oak twig fire there, and we'll see how these do with the fire there, testing them out here. Because the fire is smaller and lower, the Sproul Baker is cooking a little bit too fast on the bottom. It's not cooking the top so much, and is kind of on schedule to burn the bottom, just because that's where the heat's reflecting and there's no convection current traveling through it, and the pan is black, so it absorbs a lot of heat. So with a fire of this size, you need really a giant bonfire to cook the top with the Sproul Baker there. With this competitor here, not much is happening. It's really just dough still. And that's what I've seen on the internet with this style, is you have to really build a giant bonfire, and then people are building 2-foot-high rock walls around it to try to get something to cook there with this one. And then with the Boys Life model, it is really just still dough as well, mostly. And I'm gonna flip these in the Sproul to try and get it to not burn the bottom. And notice there's no way to access it, so I'll have to scoot it back here, and then I have to either pull the pan out or kind of risk burning my hand a bit. Let's see. Okay, so those are turned. So I had to, once again I had to flip it there. The Sproul Baker here is probably getting pretty hot with that black painted surface. So let's check, and yeah, it looks like these biscuits are done. Ouch, to me. The ones at the back didn't brown as much, but it looks like it's coming right along. Okay. These biscuits over here, whoopsie, ouch, kind of coming along. They're not really browning, but they're cooking. This one, the Boys Life model here is browning. It might even be done. Here's the Boys Life model, and they've cooked throughout there. This is about as simple as you can get, just a angled thing, although it doesn't come apart. So there's the results there. Now the Sproul, we put some cheese on there, and that's cooking up pretty good. So the Sproul model has baked the biscuits and got the cheese going. Now let's check the Buddy oven. We'll pull the pan out of the back here and take a look. So here's the way it looks so far. The biscuits are starting to brown on the top, and they've browned on the bottom. And I'm going to throw some cheese on them as well. Okay, so now I'm going to put some cheese on those and put them back in. Okay, we've got the cheese on these for the Buddy oven. So now I'll put them back in there to cook. And close it up. And we'll finish off that. The Sproul Baker has the cheesy biscuits. And there's the Boys Life model. And then here's the other competitor that still not a lot happening. And that's been consistent with the other footage I've seen. You need a really big bonfire and reflectors around the fire, like stone or something else, to really get this to cook very well. You can't do it with just a small amount of wood like this. Now with the Sproul Baker, it cooked the biscuits, but I had to turn them because, you know, once again, it wasn't a very tall, big, giant fire. So now with the Buddy oven, I turned them just so we could see what they looked like on the bottom, but I could have just put the cheese on there. And in all the ovens and their designs, it's by far superior to be able to open it up from the back, take the food out, and check it. Now, okay, in the taste test with the Sproul Baker, it has the typical texture and flavor of the usual reflector oven food, which is quite crispy on the outside, but the biscuits aren't quite as fluffy. They didn't raise quite as much, and the outside kind of gets seared, and they kind of blow up into these little blimp shaped things. So the flavor is not quite the same as when you cook them in the oven. On the other hand, with the Buddy oven, the biscuits are more fluffy. they're, I don't know if you can see that, the same kind of springiness that you get from the oven at home, and the flavor is just much better. It's more like eating bread than eating a cracker, and it just does a better job, produces a better quality. That's quite delicious. It actually tastes like biscuits, and it tastes very good. So overall, with the ease of access and the even cooking, the not having the need to turn it, and the smaller fire, the Buddy oven is hands down the best way to cook by the fireside, and very handy and easy to use, and comes apart and folds perfectly flat, and it's just a great little oven.